Hi guys. So I'm up late and I'm working and I decided that I was going to talk about this. Now I try not to do too many transit type things just because people can get a little bit anxious and sometimes even neurotic about it. But yeah, this period that we're all going through right now is kind of significant. Really significant. It's a 5-planet retrograde. So let's talk about it. The last time this happened was 10 years ago. Now, the first planet, Mercury, is one of the most well-known retrogrades as it happens more frequently than others. We've also got Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto doing the same damn thing right now. No one can escape this. And while it seems to be fairly ominous, the changes that we will see on the other side of these planets going direct can be nothing short of amazing, provided we are honest and accountable for ourselves. So let's start with Mercury, shall we? This one goes retrograde 3 times a year for approximately 3 weeks each time. The theme for this planet is communication. So not only are things quite often misunderstood or misinterpreted, people may find that messages can actually be conveyed through other less familiar mediums. Whispers may be overheard, emails may be misdirected, public speaking may be a bit harder, and or those giving the speech may be misquoted, and reviewing legal matters can also be confusing and unclear. Mercury rules over our lower mind, so this is how we perceive and interpret information that we receive from our environment and how we relay that message to others. So things like speaking, negotiating, buying and selling, listening, formal contracts, documents, travel, the mail and shipping and so forth all tend to be affected when Mercury is in a sluggish state. Decision-making is also a hindrance here. The positive side to this transit, and yes, there is one, is the ability to reorganize and reflect. Here we start to look at the world a little differently through different filters and can come up with some very important inner revelations. For me, I like to review my studies and my notes. I always reread something that strikes me as I realize that I just had the experience, which is how I primarily learn, and feel like I needed that reminder, or I see it in a totally different way. Now, it can be difficult to communicate these under this influence, but not everything has to be rationalized. To date, oh God, yeah, how many? To date, I think I have over 150 notes and thoughts that I tend to come up with during moments like these. So I do that on purpose so that I can even go back and revise if needed later. We can surely see periods like this as a time of inner awareness where meditating, journaling, reworking old plans, etc. can be extremely beneficial. Also, minor breaks from our regular means of communication actually force us to find new ways of connecting. Please note that while it's not advisable to start new projects, don't suspend any that are already in the works. It's merely a great time to think outside the box, and we each have that capacity. Now, Mars, this retrograde only happens once every 2 years and lasts for about 2 to 2.5 months. This one governs our physical actions and physical expressions of emotion. It tends to create anger and discord, leading to self-doubt, passive-aggressive behavior, inner angst, stress, and anguish. One must be aware of the ways in which we can even create physical body illnesses this way and attempt to release the pent-up energy in unhealthy ways, mainly by directing it at others. Conflict is the name of the game here, and even well-balanced and short-tempered people will not escape this one. For Jupiter, lasting about 4 months, this one affects society in a holistic manner. We'll see societies reevaluating ethics. Spiritual beliefs and positions are up for question. Laws and acceptable or unacceptable behaviors are looked at. We are also reminded that we are all connected as a society, culture, and people. Be mindful of the world that you are so quick to condemn. You are not exempt from it. Luckily, Jupiter retrograde often tends to help us see where we are similar rather than different. We start to look at certain behaviors that once had a stigma or had been deemed unacceptable and find compassion and acceptance. Travel plans are also affected under this influence. Even the best laid out plans can fall apart. Luggage can get lost, means of transportation can develop mechanical problems, and reservations can be mixed up or canceled altogether. Now for the two really fun ones, or at least they are in my opinion. Insert sarcasm here if that wasn't obvious already. Saturn retrograde lasting about 4.5 months rules over status and our desire to protect our position in life or in opinion or belief. Saturn slows everything down. It's a restrictive planet, and in retrograde it can be a tough taskmaster. It makes us work harder or take longer to think things through for both our actions and the events occurring around us. There are no shortcuts during this one, and detailed plans shouldn't be rushed. Take time to breathe and do it right the first time. We tend to see issues with authority and working on legal matters such as contracts or deals may be delayed, deadlines may be extended, and you may find yourself working on something that you thought was already complete. And last but never least, Pluto. This one lasts about 5 months in retrograde, and this one is about learning from one generation to the next. This covers history and learning from the past. Which bridges do you need to burn? Pluto's retrograde brings change with fresh starts and dead ends. Drastic curveballs might mean that we find ourselves without something that we once valued and cherished, and we are now forced to reevaluate what's truly important to us. Change tends to occur through destruction and rebuilding, or rejuvenation and regeneration. Outside forces are at work as well, including government upheavals, weapons, and war. The change can be difficult, and sometimes being forced into the new is the only way some people will move forward. So there you have it. It's time to get busy, wouldn't you say? Think outside the box. Get acquainted with your physical expressions of emotions. Learn to see the ways in which we are all connected and the same. Take your time with the important stuff and learn to see the drastic changes in your life that are meant to be your chance for rebirth. Talk to y'all soon.